Hey everybody, it's Vicky with Dementia with Grace again. We are on day 4 of our ABCs of Dementia FAQs. This series is about the most common questions asked. Google searched, YouTube searched, the most common search queries in alphabetical order about dementia. So today we're talking about driving. Now, driving and the person with dementia can be a very sticky situation. It is one of those things that really needs to stop while they are still early enough in the disease process to fully understand what is going on. And so that's what makes it so difficult. You know, when you get down into the end of stage 4, early 5, especially when you get on into middle 5, they just don't seem to be as bothered with what they can't do anymore. They really don't know what they don't know down in 5. But in 2, 3, 4, they absolutely know what their losses are, how they're slipping. They're acutely aware of their failings and their forgetfulness, their losses. They're just acutely aware of that. And they can be very defensive, very angry, very sad, very disappointed, discouraged. They feel like they're being treated like children in some ways. And that is no more evident than when the car keys come into question. Now, just because somebody carries a diagnosis of dementia does not mean that they can no longer drive if they are diagnosed very, very early. Some people are diagnosed and they still work, and so they still need a way to go to work, and that can happen. Usually by 3, people are no longer able to work and no longer need to be driving, those kind of things as a general rule. Remember that the losses are not just memory loss. It's MCCJRI. It's memory, judgment. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me say it in order. Memory, concentration, which is key, critical thinking, judgment, reasoning, and insight. And all of those things play a role cognitively in being able to successfully manage a 2-ton vehicle down a road with people following, people behind you, people meeting you, people beside you, all those kinds of things. You could drive on a piece of property that you have that, I'm from Alabama. I'm in the deep South, and there's lots of people who have property around their house, and they would be fine driving their truck from the house out to the barn or, something like that, but they could not be on the highway. Well, somebody that doesn't have insight, might take advantage of the fact that, hey, they said I could have the car keys and I can drive in the thing, and then they head out to town, So there's lots of reasons why you have to take the car keys, and you have to get into that argument sometimes. And I know that it can be an argument. I'm so sorry. Let's look at the difference between female drivers and male drivers. Because that's always been very interesting to me. Men of this generation, now we have to think about, we're talking about 70, 80, 90-year-old people usually. In this generation, the women drove certainly. Not 25 years ago, that generation of women didn't drive that much. But now, these women did drive. But they still are not so, all about their keys. They're not so persistent about, oh yeah, I'm driving. The men, however, it's very, very difficult to get car keys away from a man usually. Now, in some instances, they may have a little wreck, they may get a little lost, they may have a little something that happens to them where they voluntarily give up the keys because they know that something's not right. But sometimes you have stubborn people, men and women, who are just like, oh no, I'm going to drive. Driving means independence. It means freedom. It means competence. It means lots of things to lots of people. I have epilepsy and I have seizures weekly, and so I have a driving restriction. I can't just get in the car and drive anywhere I want to drive. And I haven't been able to do that for years and years, and it is frustrating. to be a person that needs to run to the grocery store, that needs to run to the pharmacy, that would love to go to the movies in the afternoon, something like that, but I can't because I have to wait to be driven somewhere. And it's frustrating. And I'm fully in my right mind, generally. I mean, unless y'all saw the clock video where I drew the hands wrong on the clock, but that's a whole nother story. That was that was Monday. Anyway, I think that I'm completely in my right mind, but I can't drive because of my seizure disorder, right? And it's very frustrating, and it was very demoralizing when it happened to me 11 years ago when I was diagnosed and the keys were taken away from me. Very, very frustrating. And, I knew, why I couldn't drive, but yet it was just, it's just frustrating. It is frustrating to want to go to the grocery store and you can't just get in your car and go to the grocery store or go visit a friend or go to anywhere. So I sympathize with folks with dementia who can no longer drive. But let me tell you this, it's not just the people with dementia that can no longer drive. People, as they get older, they need to be, really watching about, their competency behind the wheel. There's a very good article out right now. It's in the AARP website, and I'm going to link it down below. And my friend, Laura Smothers-Chew, who is a dementia expert, she had she spoke to the folks that wrote the article. She's quoted in the article, and she has a website here, a YouTube video here on YouTube that I'm going to link down below too. She's got lots of good information. Her focus is daughters and how they are experiencing the dementia diagnosis, how they're traveling the dementia journey with their parents. She is just a sweetheart, and I want y'all to also go and look at her YouTube video. She's got lots of good things to say, and I'm going to link that article down below. That it's not just memory cognition issues that you need to watch with driving and knowing when to take the keys away. It's also eyesight. It's all those things. It goes into that in the article. If you're wondering if now is the time to take away the keys, you need to ride with your person and let them drive. If they're getting lost, if they're getting turned around, turning left or right, if they are they can't merge into traffic. I mean, there's lots of different things that you will notice that, are just not safe. Then yes, you need to take the keys. What I suggest is replacing the keys for somebody that's low enough, that's maybe N5, that maybe wants to feel like that they have access to a vehicle. Replace the keys with another set of keys and take the car away. Hide the car. One of our, because out of sight, out of mind is what I believe. One of our ladies, Lucy, on our group, on our Dementia with Grace group, and let me tell you, that's a bunch of geniuses over there. Y'all just need to come on to the Facebook group. It's down below too. She had a kill switch installed in her car when her teenagers were driving, and it's something that she decided to do now that her husband no longer needs to drive. So he can go out there all he wants to and try to crank that car and sit in the car, and he's okay to sit in the car. The car's not gonna go anywhere because there's a kill switch there. And she said it's not a very expensive proposition to have that done. I don't know anything about it, but my goodness, it sounds like a genius proposition. All right, I think that's all I can think of today to talk about driving, but certainly I am anticipating your concerns and your problems. Leave them down below in the comments and let me know what are your situations, and I will address those for you. I am here for you, and I don't know what you need to know. I try to guess what I think would be important and interesting, but I want to know what you want to know. We are talking Friday. It will be the letter E in our ABC, and we're talking about early stages and what does dementia look like in the very early stages. What are some of the things that you need to look for that could be portending a dementia issue. So we're going to talk about that on Friday. Be sure and subscribe, and then down here there's a place to subscribe, and then there's a little bell that comes up, and you want to hit that bell, because the bell lets you know every time that I post one of these, you will get a little text saying Vicky has a new video. And so I think that's very helpful to people. That's the way, if I follow anybody on YouTube, that's what I do, which I follow lots of people. Okay, very good. I'm very excited to do these for y'all. It's very interesting to me, and I hope it's interesting to you. Please share this with anybody you think needs to know it, and come on over to the group. We are getting lots more people coming into the group. We have lots of experiences represented, lots of problems, lots of solutions represented, and I would love for you to be a part of that group. And there's a lot of love and joy too. So that group is down here. I've posted the link to that. It's on Facebook. It's Dementia with Grace Caregiver Support Group. Okay, I hope to see you over there. All right, I will talk to y'all later. Love y'all. Bye. Mwah.